And hello, everybody. Welcome. Uh, wow. Yeah, stuff. It's a day. Haven't done this in a while. So, welcome in, ladies, gentlemen, non binary finder, everybody else in the audience, welcome in. Um, this is my New Year, New Direction stream. We'll talk a bit about what I'm going to be doing. I do have a couple of small pieces of messing around I need to do first. So yeah, a little bit of patience here, please. Open selector, and I need to pick a window, and it's that one. Thank you. All right, that's better. Now, that means that if I say move this to here, okay, great. So yeah, welcome in, everybody. So, and then a couple more things that just need to happen here. Turn Discord on in case anyone needs me from there. That. Go. All right. I think I may be getting the hang of this, or something close enough to it to be confusing. And then system locker. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. I think we're good. There we are. Okay. Um, so let's talk about the plan. Um, the plan is I'm giving up on Avon. I realized I had made a mistake. Um, my interest in playing the game lately had been dwindling a bit. Like, real life has been kind of kicking me around, and that's one thing. But, um, yeah, I had been kind of thinking slash feeling like, um, the game was just samey. And it was just, there were things I wanted to do, but, um, yeah, everything was pinned down here. Um, in a way that wasn't fun for me. So I decided that what I wanted to do was go nomad, for lack of a better way of putting it. Um, so the idea here, there we go. Um, so yeah, the idea was that I was going to be gonna tear all this down. It's going to take me a little while because I have a lot of work to do first, but I'm scrapping all my shipbuilding projects. I'm disassembling the base. I'm going to reduce this location to that building and that landing pad because that landing pad has got the TinyFactory stuff. But yeah, everything else is I'm ripping it out of here. Um, that one there, the Tricanus Hall, I may keep. Um, Let me just change the game view here. There we go. That's better. So yeah, the Tricanus Hulks. I probably will keep for personal operation and slowly get it finished. I'll tell Dark Angel to stop worrying about it. Um, but the idea is, yeah, just packing the whole thing in. it doesn't do what I want, and it is causing me fun problems. So at that point, it has to go. So some of the stuff will get sold, some of it will get scrapped, some of it will get recycled into the new super project. So let's go talk about the new super project. Before I do that, there's something I want to do. Okay, first. Favorite container, change it to the lift, please. Thank you. Build. And make it go away. There we are. And then, what is... that's just scrap. Okay. Alright, that's fine. It's Clive stuff. So, yeah, I have to do some thinking. There's going to be some rearranging that has to happen, blah blah, but that is the plan. So, it's going to take a while. Like, this isn't something I'm going to rip the whole place down in one afternoon and say, giggle. It's going to take me a while, but... so... I need... Give me a couple of minutes here. Okay, that's the VR station I need. I might have everything up at the station, but I don't know for sure, so, yeah. Oh, you're not supposed to be there. And you need to come with me. Okay, I may need to do a little bit of flying to pick a couple things up, but that's all right. What I've been sort of doing mentally all along is trying to rebuild... Here we are, that's the piece I was missing. To rebuild what I had in live, just different. And, well, why would I do that? I've already done that, for lack of a better way of putting it. Why would I do it again? And so, yeah, it was really bogging me down mentally. So, we're not going to do that. We're going to do something completely different. And hopefully a whole lot more fun. That is the ultimate plan. So, yeah. Hey, Van Hurt, good to see you. Okay. Let's get out of here. There's going to be an awful lot of teleporting back and forth initially, because I need to grab samples of various things and move them up. Copy pasta. And then, yeah, figure it all out. I should probably drag a good selection of... Okay, that can all stay there, that's fine. Okay, you're just holding raw materials. Grab this whole mess as well. Don't need the scrap right now. There's nothing there I think I need. Okay, just elements. No, material. There we go. All you can come along too. Okay. I think I grabbed everything out of here already. Oops, no, don't do that. Stop. Okay, you can come along too. I'm gonna leave ore down here because I don't know what I'm going to need. But yeah, certainly none of the honeycomb for now. Yeah, that should be it. Okay, let's get out of here. Fetched up on the tower. I've never seen it do that before. Well, isn't that interesting? Oh, that's quite funny. Okay. Stop. I forgot to fuel the damn thing. Yeah, it doesn't fly so well empty, turns out. When I switch to military engines and they're fuel pigs, I get 2 trips out of two round trips out of the tank, right? Man, yeah, I forgot to do that. Welcome in, everybody. Good to see y'all. Thanks so much for hanging out. Okay, let's try that again, only with less stupid. Okay, so turn the gantry off, turn the engines on. Hey, look, there's fuel. They work now. Yeah, it's a brute force lift truck, right? Okay. Apologize in advance for the ads. Necessary evil. Well, mostly evil, but necessary. Yeah. Okay. And there's the station. And there's the and there's the shipyard. And we'll talk about the plan. Oh, right, yes. Let's do that. Set those in the container, go over here. Okay, I think that's everything. Yep. Okay. All right. Went the long way around, I guess. Yeah, I did. Okay, so here we are. So, welcome to the ultimate new home. Elcor. And it's going to be fairly chunky. Basically a full mobile base. As I said, I'm going to be scrapping everything on Haven. I'll probably ditch the tile I have on Alioth completely, pull the terrain unit off it, sell the terrain unit. Scrap the base that's there. I'll keep what's on Sanctuary because why might as well. But the idea is completely scrap it, and to transition everything to this. So middle deck, which is what I'm fabricating here. I'm just basically laying out a trellis, and then start cutting out the pieces I don't want. And then the idea will be then mirror that onto the other side, but you get the idea. Yeah, it's going to be a beast. So a lot of thinking I have to do. I've got a sketch I made in a notebook of roughly what I want the shape to be, but this is going to look pretty much like a North Sea oil rig in terms of beauty. Yeah. And when it's done, the Stardock here will come down, and so will the space station. This whole thing will just go away, as I say, as well as everything on Haven. I'm keeping blueprint copies, for future. I may change my mind, but yeah, that's the idea. So, here we have it. It's going to take me a while, like I say, but the idea is to get this thing built enough as possible that I can start flying. Right? So, each square is 10 meters by 10 meters so from that gray mark to that gray mark is 10 meters, right? So you get the idea. So that gives me a working grid to fuss out what it is I'm building. Now the next thing I need to do is to figure out the height of a deck and then build that. So we're gonna wander down here, and we'll use this spot as my reference mark. So I need yep, that'll do the job. Okay, those are my XLs that I just got. Don't need them yet. I do want to do it. Okay, so let's go to build mode. And then, yeah, we'll aim there. Oops, go. Yep. And we'll go up, and then I need all types, elements, containers. There we go. I need an M as a test piece here. Equip. That will sit there. So that is the height of one deck, because that's the height of a aha! Okay, that is what I was hoping was going to be the answer. Because that's the height of one of the XL assembler. So my primary deck height is going to be defined as, well, that tall. So I can use one of these containers or that stack. But it works out. I tested it on ground. I didn't have these containers yet. So I was just checking on ground, and yeah, the answer is that is the height of an XL. So if that's the case, then what I ought to be able to do, are they actually the same? Yep, they are. Dead level. Okay, cool. So then I'm going to run over here. Oops. Wrong button. Keep doing that. And we'll copy this. It's like, and that is fine, just like that. And that gives me my reference plane here. Now, did I coincidence, is the question. No, I did not coincidence. I did not even come close to coincidencing, which is, I'm fine with that. All right. Same thing over here. The easiest way to do that, though, is going to be this. Well, yeah, let's do that. That's that. Alright, I need some music here in just a moment. Do that. Go. And yep, that looks right. Okay. So let's park for a moment. And now let's sort out the music thing. Artists, there we go. Carl Casey. So, Jonathan Young, yep, we'll add that. I don't know. Yeah, okay. All right, just hit save on that, and documents, stream, save. Playlist. Current shuffle tracks. Awesome. And that needs to get turned down a lot. There we go. Oh, wait a second. There we go. Okay. So that gives me my first scaffold set to work from. So now I need to reproduce this quickly. That's the best way this can do it. So we're going to use the volume. 7. Yep, so go 2, 3. That far? Will it let me? Will it? Yeah, it will. Okay. So then we'll go a little further in each direction. Alright. And that's plenty of reference. Copy. Okay, so that gives me 1, 2, 3, and I need to go down 2 or 3 as well. Okay. So now we do it again, only slightly differently. That's cool. So copy. One sec. Now, just one moment here. I need to deal with something from the house. Hey, how you doing? Yep, absolutely swerving. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you, man. Just laying out the skeleton. Gotta know where I'm building. So it's an L core. Trying to make sure my deck spacing and everything. I've got a sketch already done. So I know roughly what it's supposed to be shaped like. So what I'm doing is building a grid that's going to be the area of the decks, right? So each one of those is, you know, that's the edge of the outer hull. That gap from here to here is one deck, and so it's going to be 5 decks thick. And yeah, so I'm just starting to lay stuff out now. Yeah, it's going to be a monster, you know, but I've never built anything this big before. The close as a ship, I mean. You know, I mean, obviously the station's there, but and it's a fairly substantial piece of work. But yeah, so part of the recipe is that, you know, the tallest thing I work with is the XL assembler, and I want to be able to put a couple on board the ship. So I worked out on the ground with one I already owned that's just slightly shorter than this. So that's what I use as my yardstick, and it turns out that the XL container is the same height as that pile. So I was just doing some experimenting, so that's what's going on. But yeah, building my grid, as it were. So I think I've got, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, good. And the idea is I want to get this thing flying as soon as possible. So quite literally, as soon as I can get engines onto it, even if it's sealed up, whatever, you know, if it's flying skeleton, then that's what I'm going to do. And the idea is to, you know, get into that process as quickly as possible so that I can, yeah, literally, it's going to be cruising to fancy, cool new planets, looking around, getting whatever it is I need to be able to do the work I want to do, and then working on the ship. So, and I expect this is just going to be an ongoing project. You know, the initial skeleton, I'm going to do it as you know, mirror copy, because that's the easiest way of doing that kind of build, right? But yeah, it's just, at a certain point, I'm gonna, you know, adopt a little bit of Japanese philosophy, and I won't worry so much about, you know, perfect symmetry. But the initial, you know, the initial thing is I need some place to be able to put the I need somewhere I need it that I can put the cargo containers, the engines, the flight deck, all that stuff. So I've got to lay some, you know, sort of chunking out my broad frame first, and then once I've got the skeleton built, then it's going to be sailing into Stardock. Nope. I'm putting ag onto it. But I know me well enough to know that I will crash at least once, so it's going to have enough engine to, you know, if lightly loaded, be able to pull itself up by its own bootstraps. But yeah, it's primarily, it's going to be a big bloody ship. I'm already flirting with the idea mentally of doing it as 2 L cores and asking to, you know, get that the admin voodoo trick that you can do to get them 2 cores permanently bolted together done. And at that point, the idea will be it will be as much of a carrier as anything else. And I'll have a couple of other smaller ships, including an E19, for doing just local stuff, and then, you know, and then keeping the monster for, you know, planet to planet. The great thing about building it as an ag boat, of course, is that, well, that means I don't have to worry. You know, I can build, you know, atmosphere-only vehicles for operating in and out of here and doing the running around, which will let me, you know, I don't have to worry putting warp engines in, you know, or whatever. I may have a little warp shuttle just because, but generally speaking, you just pick the whole damn base. You know, the idea is literally just pick the whole base up and go where it is I need to be, and then do everything with small craft locally. Yep, there we go. So this is the dull and boring part, you know, obviously, but like everything else, build on a good foundation once and solve all your problems in the future. As I was commenting earlier to Van Herk, the motivation's pretty straightforward. I realized I had been making a weird mistake mentally, which is that really what I was trying to do was sort of slowly rebuild by, you know, what it was I had as in live, and I realized that's great. It's just that, you know, why would I do that? I was kind of pinning myself down, and there's so much to this game I haven't seen yet. And combined with some recent events, it's not a given, for example, that Settlers is going to be here forever. It's not. And it's unfair of me to think of it that way. So if I want to enjoy DU as much as possible, well, bluntly, I've got to get out and look at it. But as long as I had a base, I was sort of mentally obligated to keep coming back and doing stuff and, you know, puttering around the base and blah, blah, blah. And then I was resenting the fact that I wasn't able to go. I still haven't been out to any of the new planets. I haven't had time. Why? Because I've been building my base. Well, okay, so now the base is the problem. Well, now I don't want to play anymore. Well, hang on. That's not very bright, is it? So I decided that, okay, fine. I'm going to change the entire paradigm, do something completely different to what it was I did in live, and I'm taking the base with me. Problem solved. So yeah, that's the idea. So as soon as I can get the ag onto it, in it operational, then the first step will be basically dropping down to Haven and using the maintenance unit to start basically tearing that area down to the minimums I will need. So basically the last thing that will get disassembled will be the main station, because I'll just start relying on its factory to do whatever it is I need to do in the short term to finish this project, until this project, you know, the ultimate objective is get to the point where this ship can build itself. which is something I was doing with the, with Stellar Forge, with the Stellar Forge design, was that I had gotten to the point where that ship was able to produce the parts required for me to keep building that ship. But I was a bit too clever with that design, and again, I was feeling kind of tied to it in a not fun way. So, I've taken blueprints of everything, in case I decide I've changed my mind, and yeah, I can always put it all back together. Just parts and money, and both of those are easy to get in Dual Universe. And as always with me, if I don't know what I'm doing, I at least try and do it neatly. And this is one of those projects. There's going to be an awful lot of don't know what I'm doing involved. So. So that is the initial framework. Yeah, non-trivial. It may get bigger, but, it's currently constrained by Stardock. By the graving dock. But it's a good start. Okay, so now let's talk about that is deck 0 here. So the first thing that has to happen is start chopping some of this stuff out. Now, since I had to ask that question already, that makes this needs to be blue. like that. Rat. Alright, that's fine. Hmm? Oh, yeah, okay. Wow. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Sharp to that. Okay. This one here. Too big. Yep. Just there. And this whole thing here has to come out. Correctly. Okay. So, go. All right. Now for the hard question. Now what? Just give me a sec here. Okay. And then back over here. Okay, that's my zero deck, and it's sort of the opposite carve out here. And if you're wondering why I just didn't build it this way, it's because this is just how I think. It helps me stay organized mentally. Okay. Now I need a couple of lasers. do it again over here. Myself, which is exactly what I'm trying to avoid. So we'll do this. Does make things easier for me when I can visualize stuff like this. Stays like that. Oh, no, this one here has to come out. Yeah, all right. Likewise, this one here has to come out. So that's the rough shape. Let's go down to our zero deck. Huh? Oh, camera foo-foo. Hang on. What did silly camera thing do? Hang on. Yeah, okay, I see what happened. Oops, boop. Here we go. Well, that's bloody weird, isn't it? There, not sure why it misbehaved like that, but thank you for saying something. I hadn't noticed. Yeah, that's annoying. Okay, yep, that works. And then lock that. All right, there we go. Thank you. All right. Why did he send me counterphased? Oh, okay, that's fine. Actually, better. Okay. So let's start with equip. All right. So the first engine, in fact, goes here. F off, would you? And that gets mounted to 0. Just tuck it like so. That's fine. I'd have to move the light to be able to. I'll have to move the light over. So for now, you can sit there. And then 9. Let's move that down. 9. Let's move this back. And then come in 1 meter. There we go. So that one sits there. And then I want another one just like that, please. And that one is supposed to sit in the middle of this frame. Be all the way back. Like so. Okay. So the next thing I need is this off, and I need a 45 degree angle, which I have. Screech. Not seeing any other template pieces, so we'll just use this one, that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Stop it. Okay, build mode, please. Thank you. Piss off. And copy. Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't mind if it's worked. This is going to be the weird one. Oops, wrong button. Do it again. 7. Did I? Oh, yeah, okay. Alright, that's panicking for a sec. Something didn't look right. It's because it isn't right, but it's not the worst of the wrongs. Just left too thick a layer there. Okay. And then so 7 and V. And I want the middle here. Is that? Yeah, right there. And yep, that. And I'm just another one here for now. And 7. Okay, and then this override. Oh, I'm not on spot. That's fine. Alright, well, I'll fix that in a minute. Yeah, this is supposed to be a 0 here, not an 80. That's 0. And then it has to move forward far enough. Almost there. Well, that's peculiar. Why is it doing that? Must actually. Yeah, just slightly. Okay. Okay, 220-100 is the magic number. Okay. All right. So I have to come back over here and fix this mess. So then I want to do the same thing with that engine, but mounted here is the idea. So roughly that line. So now we need our little tilty bin here. No, Van Herk. I have cats. Hey, Fate. Fainek. Yeah, Fainek, thank you very much. Appreciate you hanging out. Now, we'll deploy another engine. And, okay, stop. You. What? 220, 100. Okay. 220, 100. Here we go. That looks 110, 218, 100. Okay, yeah, I'm good with that. Yep. Okay. And that leaves, all right, right. Go. I haven't bothered to do the math. That's just guesswork, but we'll go from there. All right. Now, what are we going to do with those? That's really the next question. Okay, that's 0. All right, so no. Equip. Now we get down to the part that I always get bogged down into, which is aesthetics. If it's not pretty, I don't want to do it. think future self is going to hate me for this, but we'll go with it anyway. Do that. Okay, so I need to put 4 on each side-ish. Yeah, okay. Be an interesting aesthetic, I think. Yep. No. Oh, yeah, okay. No, I did do it wrong. Just wrong. Okay. Yeah, I want that. And then I want to go out 1 meter. So, yep. Okay, I'll have to reposition the damn thing. And that puts that edge out. Yep, good. That's exactly what I wanted. Do it again. That leaves 3. So I have space to put 4. So what I'm gonna do is put the 4th one to the back here. So we're gonna cut this piece out as well. Just like that. Does that look okay? No, went too thin. Nope. There we are. Back 1 meter. And it goes there. Okay. So that gives me... That'll be an interesting look. So now I need a post. For now, we're just going to do this. Hey, Omadon, good to see you. Twerpin, okay, that's funny as hell, man. Mostly that you think this is professional. Like, wow, have I got you fooled. Good to see you, Omadon. Good to see you, Twerpin. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate y'all dropping in. If you got any questions about what I'm doing here, let me know. Big changes. Alright, now I need a container hub. Hey, look, I have one of those. That's nice. So this one will go here. Oops. Six. Okay, then you rename this. I'm excited to see how it works. Yeah, okay. Alright. So, step one. Now. This is temporary because, well, it's a flight deck. I got a set of gates coming from Viper, and those will go here. And then, so this will be if I remember, if I've done my math right, it's wide enough to get an E19 in here. I might have to go one notch wider, but I'm hoping not. Just don't forget it's double width. The idea is to be able to fly a couple of small ships in and out of a central storage bay that's going to have a set of gates here. Kind of cool. If I was smart, I'd just go get an E19 and check. But, why would I start now? All right. Going to put if that's flight deck up above, then I'll use this as my first fast factory deck, I think is what I'll do. Now, 3 of these are, yeah, advanced gravity. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted. Will sit there. Yep. So the next one should be at negative 48. Yep, there. And then this one's going to be the weirdo. What do I do this? Well, actually, no. But fighting with myself here about how I'm going to do something. Yeah, I think we're just going to do this. Alright. for now. I need some more container hubs. Okay. Well, I have more oil. Alright. So... Reading. This is fact. Finished. This is going to be a factory. This one here is factory spare until I know what's going on. Okay. So that is bulk storage and factory storage in place. Yeah, I did. Okay. Yeah, this whole thing here is supposed to be one sprint arrow. Okay, well, it's easy. It's not like it's hard to fix. I shouldn't have bothered to put it in to start with, and I forgot about that. Happily copy pasting, right? Good news is it won't take long. Yeah, I did. Keep doing that. But that's the reason I build things this way, is because it's obvious when I screw up. Okay, there we go. That's what that's supposed to look like. That's important because engine. This one is supposed to be sitting roughly there-ish. Is that? Okay, yeah, that's 0. This one is supposed to be sitting all the way forward. For now, at least. Yeah. And then all the way back from the last one. Okay. Next. Oh, that's right. This is supposed to be factory salvage. There it is. This is temporary. I suspect the back end of this is going to change, but that's fine. Good enough for now. You go there. Okay. Okay, res node. For now, I'm just going to do a couple of these things here because it's just the easiest place to find them. Okay. Oh, they're too short? Okay. Just drop in and look if they can. If I fall off, I'm fine. And I have a couple of ways of dropping back down to the surface really quick to do research. Because there's a bunch of stuff off the ground I'm gonna need. Okay. Alright. Let's get started. Makes sense next. Honestly, the trickiest part of this build is going to be the flight deck. I might as well just start bricking that in now. Everything else is actually pretty straightforward. here. Yeah. Okay. This is just going to be weird to do. Yep, that's a notch. Okay, so that's notched, that's notched. That is notched. Okay. This is going to take a little bit of thinking, but we can do this. Yep, cool. I've done this right. Exit build. Here. Missing materials, that's not surprising. Good news is I have a solution to that problem. Come on now, a little bit quicker. You can do it. Yay! Go you. Plunk. Plunk. Where's my hydrogen tanks? That's fuel storage, we're good. Are we full? Not even close. Okay, that's what I want to know. Yep, okay, good. So now, turn around again. No, there it is. Okay. That away. To move my... Well, actually, I don't need this thing anymore, so it can just get stopped. Actually, I'm gonna set it aside a little bit further over because I got a bad feeling about this. So just make sure that I have it as reference material in case I have to throw something out and start over. And I just screwed something. Okay. Now I have to go back over and copy my template again. Good job. GG, Michelle. Okay. 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 That should get the whole deck. Go. That's right there. Not quite far enough over here. That's okay. I know I'm thick enough to have gotten the whole deck, which is really the important part. Okay, so we can copy that. And I still don't have what I need. Okay, we'll have to take a look. I mean, ultimately, I can just rip apart one of these, but there's no, I don't want to do that yet. Okay, let's go take... What direction is that? That is 270. Okay. Okay. So what do I need for the flight deck? I usually keep a swatch, as it were, here. Okay, so that's glossy gray, glossy orange, black pattern. That's black pattern aluminum. Okay, so I don't have any orange in production. Unless, no, you're doing steel. Okay. So, alright, so I need glossy orange. That's carbon fiber product. Okay, stop. Orange. I think it's just glossy orange, isn't it? Yeah, just good old-fashioned glossy orange. Okay, and yes, go. And we are missing polycarb. Why? Almost, well, the most likely answer is because something else is jammed somewhere. Lots of room there. Lots of room there. What are you guys complaining about then? Polycarb. Right. I'm just not moving enough polycarb around, or what's going on? Welcome, Ryglitch. Thanks very much for being here. Appreciate you. Yeah, there's polycarb there. Why isn't it being moved? Did I break something? That's supply bin. There's 1,400 liters of polycarb there. What's the problem? You're looking for 200. You're looking for 2,200 liters. Okay, well that changes things. All right. That'll do it. That's going to be a minute then to spin up what the plastics I need. All right, so while it's chewing on the plastic, your black aluminum. Do I have black aluminum in production here somewhere? I don't think so. Oh, there was gloss orange up top. All right. Well, then that's just gloss copper. Black pattern aluminum. Okay. Is it black pattern aluminum? It should be. Yeah, okay. So I've got everything set up already that I needed. All right. So it's just a matter of waiting for the transfers to do the transfer thing, which means I should come over here and find, yep, cool. And I'm gonna hit finish and stop. And okay. I need to be able to start fussing here, so what I'm going to do is just scoot over here and scrap this pad. Because it's unlikely to be used anyway. That'll give me the material I need to work with over here. the idea of adding either an M core or a full L core on the nose of this, but we'll see. I got a decent amount of vertical room left in the build, so maybe I'll thicken it a deck. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, that's like that. Okay, now, and then it needs to back up a bit. Like I say, I don't know if this is the right answer, like, the right answer, but it'll be a good place to start from, and then we can go from there. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's okay. I forgot about that. All right, that's fine. Well, the easiest way to do that is actually going to be this. I could go. I could just, yeah, go the deck. Yeah, okay, that's what I'll do. I was thinking about going through the aggravation and trying to rip that centerpiece out, but it occurred to me I don't have to do that. I just need to be thicker, as it were, than the blue stuff, which means just doing that. That's sitting at 0? Yeah, it's okay. And, yep. So the flight deck will be 1 square raised compared to the surrounding area, and I don't think that's actually kind of an interesting aesthetic. So that is, quote, the wall. So we'll have to do something dressy down this end. But in the meantime... looks like shit, doesn't it? We'll figure it out. And then there's going to be a bulkhead wall that would go there, but alright. That's not awful. I don't hate it. We'll use that phrase. I think it's too narrow for the E19. I think I'm going to have to go another width. But the only way to really know that for sure is to go get one. And that's a little bit more of a jog than I want to get into today. However, I do see an easy answer here. Yeah, we can work with that. So we'll go there. So how wide is that? It's 10. Okay. So from blue to here is how far? 6. Okay. So for now, what I'm going to do... Yep, that lines up better. Okay, so then... Do I have 6? Yeah, I do. Okay. Wasn't that handy? Let's go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that was by definition. 4, yeah. Down there. That would be about middle, I guess. Grab a little more. That. Good. And then that goes there. And then we just need a slab in the middle. Okay. That ought to work. that top deck is going to need to be... I don't think this fits here. I think this has to come out as well, at least initially. I think I wind up having to shave this back. We'll see what happens when I actually try and get a ship in there, but my immediate reaction is that's not tall enough. So I think that core has to go up another deck, and then this whole mess needs to get... It's just piece here just chopped back at least most of the length of the flight deck. So let's just do that. Because it's the vertical that's the hard part. Left-right is actually pretty straightforward. It's what you can't see on the vertical that causes problems, right? So cut this out of here. We'll trim to here. And then, yeah, I'm just going to move this up. The next deck. Got any questions about what I'm doing or why or what have you, please do shout out. Love to chat with people. So I can just sit there for now. Yeah, I think that's going to be... Because I can sort of fuss what this shape from here to here is. I think it'll be a whole lot easier to get in out this way. And then the idea is that there'll be a parking block there. I may extend this forward a little further, but I don't know yet. But because that will be right this wide over there as well, I think that's gonna fit. Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay. So let me go get a... Let's grab this, go on over, and have a talk. Yeah, okay. If I do something this, that to line up there. That's not necessarily wrong. Do the same thing here. Alright. Yeah, it works. Okay, I can, yeah. little bit of jaggies from the coffee, but I'm not going to fight with it. Prototyping is prototyping. Okay. Next. So, no. What do I have? Okay, so plastics. Let's start with that. Yep, we'll work with the glossy blue. I got tons of it. I want to go 3. No, it's gonna. It has to be 2. Never mind. It doesn't work. Okay. Never mind. That's not good. Okay, that is the stuff I was hoping it was. Okay. Oops, wrong button. Go grab a sample of something. Be right back. What are you? Okay, that is what I thought. It's awesome. And you are what? Oh, I got it. Oh, fantastic. Exactly as it. Okay. Slightly smarter than the average bear. Awesome. And then what did I do for that edge? Okay, just more blue steel. Probably won't do that. But okay, what I'm going to do is just grab this chunk as a reference block. Back over here, and let's build this wall. okay, that's a different material. Which one do I like better? Oh, fuck. Might be interesting as a texture to keep that outside band, right? That. So I kind of like that. I'm not sold on the blue like that for the exterior. I think I want something that's a slightly different contrast. Which means, well, I can change one or the other. Hey, Kestrel, good to see you. Welcome in. Let's... just go with the galvanized blue. Let's try something here. Leave the outside edge that darker tone, and then lighten the inside piece up a bit. I think that works. Yep, we'll go with that. Okay, let's... Okay, that's cool. just the bottom barrel needs to get touched. All right. Okay. Next. That does create a big empty spot right in the middle. Don't like that. So what we'll do... Screwed that up completely. No, it's just that. That's what I should have done. Okay. I don't think that'll be too aggravating in repetition. Get a little bit of lighting out of it from the LUMI, and it'll do a decent job of joining the build together. We'll play with... see what happens when I start duplicating it in large. Lined up properly. Yes, done. Okay, cool. Oh, one square too high. No. Okay, I didn't copy. Okay, I missed this. Did I miss a square over here? What? Oh, I see what's going on. Right, because the flight deck is higher. Hmm. All right. Okay, well, I know, okay, so I know how I'm gonna fix this. This piece is easy, actually. Just do that. Double thick border over here. And the first one goes all the way through. This one goes to here. Okay, that gives me a uniform block to work with. One sec, folks. Okay. All right. Whoops. Okay, and I'm out of material, but that's okay. Yeah, that'll be okay. Yep, I think that'll work. Okay, next. Maybe do some thinking about that. If does that stop my yeah it does okay oh, that's easy enough. So this here we go here and we'll shave this back a little. There we go. See how that works. So if this is here, like that actually, which is good because I seem to be stuck with it. Well, you know. I'll have to. Okay, that looks terrible. So, okay. used as well. Oh, no. Yeah, it works. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Stir up that. Oh, that's an obvious answer now, isn't it? What's going on here? Oh, it's the wrong side. There we go. Yeah, okay, it's flipped around. Never mind. I'll just leave it like that. Yeah, okay. Keep set up. Okay, but... Yeah, okay. I think that's gonna work. Now, for what winds up an exterior surface, like past the end of the runway, for example, here on out, I'm probably going to do a different metal or a different pattern or something. But this is the interior vibe I want. Hey, DU CP All right, CP welcome in. Sorry I was caught up with what I was doing. I'm out of practice with streaming. I forgot you were there. Alright. Yeah, I think that'll get what I need to do done. Let me see what's done in the washing machine here. So, what do we got? The most likely thing I'm out of is matte white carbon fiber. Let's go over and grab a load of that. Oh, well, that's awkward. Oh, no, okay. Where's the HC bit? And I need 1,900. I need 2,200 liters to do that. Oh, well, foop. Death by skills. Okay. Well, damn it. What are you? You're already, okay, you're as big as it gets. Elements. That's an excess container? Yeah, it is, so I need an S container. Okay. Don't tell me I don't have... Okay. It's 2,250. So double that would be 4,500, right? Yeah, okay. So that would be 5,000. All right. So, by the way, my face cam, the battery for I was using my cell phone for the face cam tracker, and that just has kicked off. So, I'll be a little more rigid, but that's okay. there's the black total, and that's going to be 45. Here we go. So that'll be as much as is required to do 2 batches right away. All right. All right, but that is a good start. Okay. What time is it here? Almost 2 o'clock my time. Okay. Cool. Yep, I think it's gonna work. Question then becomes what of here? Okay. What that was. Hope it wasn't as loud for you as it was for me. Yeah, I'll just drop that here. And that'll get stomped when I do a full copy. Here. figure it out when the other half goes off. That's okay. Gotcha. And then that'll just get stomped by whatever piece goes on over that corner, and we're good. Okay. Yeah, alright. That tidies that edge up. Okay. Let's see if it crashes. Let's see if this crashes the game. Nope, didn't crash. That's nice. Well, that's cool. How entirely unexpected it worked. That is a deliciously complicated piece of work. I must say I'm impressed with that. No, I can't do that. Alright, let's grab this. Oops. Whoops, no, don't do that. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Is that... No, that's not even. What's going on there? You are 5. Now let me guess, you are 4. Yep. Alright, so this has to... Okay. Exactly the mistake I made. That's okay. Not expensive to fix. Alright, here we go. That works. Okay, we can go with that. Realized I'm making a dumb mistake, because that's not the material I'm going to want to use. That's not nearly enough contrast. Same problem. Kind of vanishes. Oh, I know. Yep. Stands out. Yep, okay, we'll go with that. Oops, that's not what I meant. It's what I did, but it's not what I meant. Alright, do I want to go the one more over or not? Not really. Yeah, so it's just going to have to sit like that. Okay. That's fine. Okay. Now. Do that for now until I know what I actually need. 4. Nope. Oops. I screwed that up, didn't I? Okay. Is that 2 or 3 squares? 2, 3, it's 4. What? Does that screw anything up? Doesn't look like it. Ooh, too low. That air gap block of the other one. Okay. I think that looks okay. There. That quote ties it all together. Okay. That's not bad. So next time I'm on, I'll have to scoot over to the fly-in center, grab the E19 I've got on display over there and bring it over here. That's not going to be hard, because I just need to be able to see it on the flight deck and see how, if it turns and stuff like that. And then I need to get this area boxed in, and then start working on the rest of it. So once the flight deck is done, then the next step will start being to building out industry here. And basically, so it'll be planking the deck here, and then starting to lay out a couple of TinyFactory runs to be able to start, essentially, as I need stuff, just build it on the ship, is the idea. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. Alright. I'll need to be back on Alioth for the next step. Not Alioth, but Haven for the next step, so just jump back on the shuttle and down we go. Incidentally, I suspect I'm going to have an awful lot of extra industry. If anybody wants dibs on purchasing it from me, let me know. It's all uncommon or advanced gear. It's one or the other. I'll probably be keeping most of the advanced gear for the new build, but yeah, certainly all of the uncommon equipment will be going. All right. Alrighty, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is that. Ladies and gentlemen, Non-Binary Refinery, thank you so much. I'm going to wrap it up here. I've got a bunch of stuff to do around the house, so I don't want to take too much time. Amongst other things, it's my turn to cook supper, so I've got a ham I need to get into an oven and stuff like that. And then working some stuff around the house. But it's been a while since I streamed, and this piece here is a bit of a big deal, as it were, in terms of building stuff. And I just wanted to, like I say, it's a brand new direction for me in the game. You are very welcome, Tin Man Down. Appreciate you being here. So yeah, so that's going to be it for today. Excuse me. Oh, lovely. I see an ad break just kicked in, so I'll give it a minute here, and then I'll do the goodbyes. Reminder that if you're a Prime subscriber, or if you're a Amazon Prime, you get a free subscription every month. If you're not using it anywhere else and you hate the ads on this channel, feel free to drop it here. But yeah, we are, okay, what we got here? 20 seconds? All right. So yeah, that's about 70 million in parts I installed today. The engines, and yeah, got a couple more things coming from Viper. That'll That'll be the doors for the for the hangar. We'll have to see how those go in, if they do what we want. But I'm looking forward to making some more progress. Like I say, it's a brand new direction for me. I haven't done this before in game, except in a very limited way using the Stellar Forge build. But I think this is going to be a much more rewarding and fun style of play for me. It'll give me a way to look around and see new stuff, including getting out to a lot of the other planets I haven't been to. Never got to them in live because there was just the circumstances. We all thought we had more time, right? And I'm as guilty of that as everybody else was. But so yeah. As I said, recent events have made it obvious to me that, that's not a guarantee. So I want to change what it is I'm doing in game and see an awful lot more of Dual Universe. So this ship will let me do that. That's the idea. Get landed here, and I'll see who we can raid to. Here we are. Almost in the hover. Here we are. Hit the magic button. There we are. We are landed. In case you're wondering, by the way, that button is triggered to a transmitter, which does things like change the status of the force fields and the landing pads and things like that. That's how I've got them keyed up that way. So, for example, these doors retract when that is turned off and things like that. All right. But yeah, so this has turned out to be more of a a prototype, and I hadn't really anticipated that. But yeah, I like it. Like, I'm certainly going to keep the blueprint, but I realized that it was pointing me in a far better direction to play. So yeah, over the next little while, all of this is going to get taken down, and we'll see what happens. It should be interesting. We'll use that phrase. All right, folks. Let me see if there's anyone we can raid to. One sec here. Lots of DJs, but why? Okay, I really don't like the way they have their raid system set up. That is dumb as rocks. No, not Andy. Yeah, I'm not seeing anybody else playing. Yeah, I'm not seeing anybody else playing Dual Universe. So, which is kind of annoying. Well, that's not, sorry, that came out wrong. What I mean is, I'm pretty sure there probably is, but I'm also pretty sure that software is just not showing them to me. So that's a bit of a drag. All right. Okay, well, I'm not seeing anybody else streaming Dual Universe, so we'll call it there. Alrighty, folks, take care of yourselves. Have fun with whatever games you're playing, and we'll see you all again soon.